The draft is approaching fairly quickly. Are the Ravens targeting a wide receiver in the first round? Do you want a wide receiver in the first round? This and a couple of things more coming right out. Renegade. Hey guys, my name is Sunny. Welcome to szg Sports. If this is your first time in here, please subscribe and hit the notification button so you can stay up to date with all the content that I put up in the channel. So guys, we're going to talk about the receivers, right? So all we want to talk about is Ravens, and I understand it. I have 2 mock drafts out there. Go check it out. The link is going to be in the description below. And the right receiver is a sexy pick. It's what we all want. PFF just came out with a list. Ravens were number 1 in the league on drops. The number 1 team in the whole league on drops for the right receivers, right? And it's bad, right? And we all been in this, like, people talk about QB purgatory. The Ravens have been in a wide receiver purgatory. Steve Smith was the last really reliable wide receiver we had, but before that, the only time that we have last time we have like a combo receivers, they were decent, right? That you can like trust, was when we have Bolden and Torrey, right? So you had at least 2 you can work with, and you have Pitt as a tight end. We don't have that right now. Crabtree is inconsistent, although I know Russell Street Report came out with a report saying that we might not cut Crabtree. I will have to say, me and Coach Evan talked about this like 2 weeks ago. You can check the description, the link up below. In that video, we go through the whole offense. I had never thought we were gonna cut Crabtree, so I'll actually be surprised if we do, because who we have left. Crabtree is the only route running receiver we currently have. The rest are not really good in route running, so I don't think we're gonna cut Crabtree at all. But I'm not saying with that Crabtree is this great receiver. I think he's still serviceable. He's good. He's not great, but he's good. And he bought into the whole Lamar thing, right? And we went the whole in on Lamar. And at the beginning it was rough for him to buy in, but he eventually did. Versus Smokey Brown, I felt like he was never bought in. Snead bought in, and actually Snead was targeted a lot with Lamar. That being said, is Crabtree, Snead, 2 rookies from last year in Lastly and Elio Scott, Moore. None of those receivers really scare you, right? Or excites you as a fan. So I'm gonna go through potential first rounders, right? And then I'm gonna give 2. They're gonna be more middle round picks, but first rounders it's the ones that I'm gonna concentrate. N'Keal Harry. Let me start with N'Keal Harry. He's one of my favorites. And the reason is, route running is not his strong suit, right? And as we go through all these receivers, none of them are great route runners. Some better than others, but overall, they're not great route runners. But N'Keal, he has an enormous catching radius. He can adjust to the ball. He can go get the ball. He can fight for the ball. So I mocked him in my first mock draft. And my whole spiel was, he was like Bolden. Not as thick, bigger, more athletic than Bolden, but he can fight for the catches. And that's what we need with Lamar. Remember when Bolden was here, one of the things was, Flacco was like, Bolden was over there. Let me just throw it, right? And Bolden would come up with it. This is the type of guy that N'Keal is. Not a burner, but a guy that will fight for contested catches. He can break tackles too. So different from Bolden, when he's in the open field, he has the speed. He can put in a second gear. He has the ability of getting yak yards. He can break tackles. I like N'Keal a lot. The other guy that I want to talk about, or my second guy that I put here in my list, was Hollywood Brown. So Hollywood Brown is all about flash. Hollywood Brown, for me, reminds me a lot of Deshaun Jackson, home run hitter. A guy that can just blew up the top of the defense, right? He looks like he can be extremely fast, and my expectation is he's going to run 4.340 and just gonna blow in the combine with speed, and he's gonna go top 12. I don't think he's gonna get to us, although I don't even think he's a good fit with us. Hollywood needs a quarterback that's very accurate. He can put the ball in a spot. He's not good in contested catches. It's gonna be hard for him to adjust. He's in smaller frame. It's gonna be hard for him to fight. He definitely thrives in the outside because he's so fast. I think he needs a guy like Rodgers, Matty Ice, what else? Brady. A type of guy that can have a big arm. With Flacco, he would have thrived too. No, not on Lamar, by the way. But he needs that like deep thrower guy that can put the ball accurately. Flacco wasn't as accurate as some of the other guys that I mentioned, but he can put the ball deep. So Hollywood Brown, I don't think he will be the best fitting here. But also, I don't think he will get to us. I think he'll go top 12, in my opinion. Then I get A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I like. He can play the slot. He can play outside. He can adjust to the catch. He can run after the completion. So he can get yak yards. He can break the tackles. Biggest problem that I see with A.J. Brown, on the red zone, I feel like he disappears. And in game situations, I feel like he disappears. For his production in college, I think he's more suited as a number 2. No knock on him. He might develop into a number 1. He does a lot of good things. Can he do it consistently? That's the thing. But he's versatile. He's athletic. He's a strong dude. He has the tools to be number 1. My concern is the lack of production in Ole Miss, even when he was the number 1 receiver there, right? And because we're gonna talk about DK Metcalf, but Metcalf was injured a lot, so Brown had to step up. And I felt like if you go to the game tape, you go to the stats, you would expect more production on Brown. It wasn't there, especially in the red zone. I think he underperformed. Can he perform better in a place like Baltimore? Maybe. As we're more of a run-heavy offense, he will have more opportunities on a one-on-one. And I feel like he can win those opportunities. Of all this receiver core, he is, in my opinion, the best route runner, which is good. And if he can develop that even more, that is a trait that you don't see as much in the NFL anymore, and definitely not in college. I think that's what helped Calvin Ridley be so successful in the NFL. He was a good route runner. That's what helps, I'm blanking the guy's name right now. Oh, what is this guy's name? The guy from Dallas. The wide receiver from Dallas. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. The guy got traded from Oakland to Dallas. Another good route runner. Those type of guys are not there. I'm not saying A.J. Brown's there, but he can potentially be there. I like what I see, and just none of these receivers are perfect. That's why you haven't heard any receiver being talked as a top 5 receiver. Next guy. DK Metcalf, teammate. So Metcalf, if you see the tape when he plays, he is awesome. Big body, can make the catches, he can run fast, plays well with the sideline. Well, it's very few things that you can. He's not the greatest route runner, but he can fight for the ball. Good strong hands. All 3 that I have said, minus Hollywood Brown, have good strong hands, which that's what we want. We don't want another pyramid. And I'm not saying Hollywood doesn't have the strong hands, but Hollywood depends more on that deep threat throw. These other 3 guys, A.J. Brown, Harry, and DK, they have strong hands. So DK has all the elements to be a great receiver. But, big but, he has been injured 3 years in a row in college. So the last injury, I think, was a neck injury. That scares me. A lot of people, this is why he's not going earlier, right? I think he has, if he was completely healthy, that's his only red flag, in my opinion. If he was healthy, he's definitely a top 15 talent. But his health is a big concern, in my opinion. So, a first-round pick, you want him to perform quick, especially in a wide receiver position, which we're thin. So, will you risk it? I don't know. At the end, I'm gonna give you the ones that I will pick in the first round. And then, the other guy that is like a semi, it's like end of the first round, beginning of the second round. Kevin Harmon for NC State. Strong hands, strong body, can make the contested catch, no doubt about it. He doesn't look fast. He doesn't look that quick. He can make the contested catches like Harry. I just think Harry's better. Taller guy. He can make more yak yards. He can definitely adjust to the ball when he's in the air better than Harmon can. So that's what I think. He's more like a late first, early second. So those are the only ones that I see going to the first round, although all these might change after the combine. Because if the combine, Harry comes and runs a 4.340, well, he's going top 10, top 15 at worst. Same thing, if he runs a 5.45 40, that's going to push him back. The vertical for Harry, Metcalf, and AJ looks really good. So I don't think they're going to have problems with that. And yeah, Harmon, I think his 40 will determine if he goes late first, early second. He reminds me a lot of Coates, Sammy Coates, which a lot of people had a lot of hype. And then combine, he was okay. And then he kept moving. I think he ended up being a third round pick. So we'll see. The combine will determine a lot. But I'm going to give you a couple of middle of the round picks that I think they're middle of the round. Andy Isabella. This dude is short, might be 5'10" on a good day. He fights for every yard. He's strong in the hands. He can break tackles. He can stiff arm you. He's aggressive as a receiver. He can do the drag routes. He's one of those guys that I can compare, not only because he's white, to Cole Beasley, Amendola, Wes Welker type of that guys. They can definitely, they're short, but they are aggressive. He needs to bulk up a little bit, but all those guys when they came to the league, well, obviously it's not really bulked, but the other two, they weren't really bulked. But it's about, if you go check the tape against Georgia, this dude was exploding. He had over 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, and he was literally the only offense that team had on UMass. The question is, that was one game, and Senior Bowl he cut for a touchdown, almost like a bubble screen. So he's good in all that. He's not good in the deep threat because he's not tall. He's not afraid of going to the middle. But we'll see what is his 40, because as a shorter guy, he needs to have a decent 40. I think he's a slot receiver. If he's there in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, I would like us to take a swing at it. I think he can, as we are a running team, present himself in the holes, grab the ball, and get you 10 yards, right? Almost like Woodhead was when Flacco was here, but instead as a running back and the receiving part. The other guy that I want to talk about, Jalen Smith from Louisville. So everybody's talking about Jalen Smith, and I understand because he was Lamar's boy, and that's fine. In my opinion, he's like Chris Moore. He's a middle of the pack round pick. He has a tool. Chris Moore was fast. He was tall. He was athletic, but has never been able to put it together. I feel like Jalen has that. In the Senior Bowl, I saw a couple drops. There's something about him that if you take him, you see his as a like athleticism and all that, he looks like a first rounder. But then you see his production, you see his play. I think he's a 4th, 5th rounder. I think the Ravens might target him just because he's Lamar's boy. So if he slips to the 4th, 5th round, I think we might grab him. Again, because it's Lamar's boy. He had his best years with Lamar. Lamar might say to the Ravens, can you get me that guy? I know him. I had chemistry with him. And that's good and bad. It's good that he has a chemistry with a receiver and you can bring him in. What the bad part will be if he's only looking for him. So, could be good, could be bad. We'll see. But Jalen Smith, I'm not saying he's a bad prospect. I'm just saying he's more of a middle of the pack. So, with all this said, what do I think about the receivers? The problem that we have with Baltimore is we are so desperate for a receiver, right? That we see a receiver that is a B, and we think it's Julio Jones, meaning we're so desperate. We need this receiver. We just thirst for it, right? there's only 2 receivers currently that I can see us targeting in the first round. The rest of them, for me, have enough red flags that either they don't fit or I don't want it. Harry and A.J. Brown. They are 2 receivers that I would like to see in Baltimore. Neither of them, I think we should trade up to get them, because they're not, again, like a Julio Jones, a guy that like you're going to plug him in, he's going to be your number 1 receiver, he's going to be beasting. But they're going to be good contributors. Other than that, DK, like I said, I think he's a great talent. Injuries. And your best trait is your availability. You can be a B receiver, but never miss a snap. Look at Carr. Carr's like a B corner, but he doesn't miss a snap, right? He doesn't get injured. That is a great trait. Versus you can be a A+ receiver and barely touch the field. That doesn't do me any good. So DK for me gets injured too much. What was the other guy? Hollywood for me is not a best fit. As Lamar is being developed, I think maybe later you need that deep threat. As for now, I would say give the opportunity to Lashley. I know he needs to get better with hands, but he can be a deep threat. So, yeah, guys, I think although we're going to see a lot of receivers being marked to us, if the Ravens are smart, those are the only 2 that you should target. In reality, if those 2 are out and you really want a receiver, I would trade back. And get more picks. And get maybe Jalen Smith with extra picks. Maybe getting the guy from Stanford. Maybe Harmon. Maybe Harmon slips to the second round. You can get him. Right? So it gets more of a value pick. So anyway, you tell me. Put in the comments below who will be that receiver that you would love to see in Baltimore. Do you think we need to draft one in the first round? Or do you see us drafting maybe 2 but in the middle rounds? If you like this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me at szg.sports. I'll see you next time.